Good morning. I'm Glenn Robinson. We're going to do a short training video on how to check the reactivity of our Resurf resin, preferably before you go to the field, and adjust the reactivity if need be. What you generally get from us is the Resurf resin, and you see here the reactivity here is summer reactivity plus some additional cobalt here, promoter, which makes this ideal for fall applications and even moderate winter applications. Then we note what customer got this, Lafayette, Louisiana, September 1st of '09. So we can track this. We got several reminders up here that send you to our website for training video for the general use of our product. You get the Resurf resin, Resurf catalyst, and then aggregate blend. This video is intended primarily to check the reactivity of your resin, the gel time on your resin, and adjust it if necessary. This process is relatively simple. About 50 milliliters of resin to about 1 milliliter of catalyst is a 2% or a 50-to-1 ratio. These little cups are about 89 milliliters, so what we do is we get a little over a cup, a little over a half a cup of resin, and you'll note the color on it is cobalt purple. Then measure about 1/4 of a lid of catalyst. You'll note the color change from a purple to a greenish color once it's mixed in a little bit. And note the time, it's about 6 minutes till 9 there on the gel time. Now, when you catalyze the resin, do not sit it in the direct sunlight, and the reason is the UV component and the thermal component will speed it up considerably. So just catalyze it at the approximate temperature you think you'll be working. Set it in the shady spot and start the timer on it. Now, while we're waiting on that to gel, the Resurf accelerator, this is enough accelerator to do 6 or 8 drums or many of these. Now, once we've checked this reactivity and got the gel time on it, realized, well, for tonight's temperature or real cold weather, it's too slow, then we simply will take the resin and add no more than 2 capsules to that 5-gallon pails of resin. Quite often 1 capful is a gracious plenty. But once you've added the accelerator to the resin, and it'll stir in rather quickly, stir it for maybe a minute, that's gracious plenty. Okay, now with the accelerator added and mixed in, just get you another cup. You'll note a little bit of the purple color is gone. Now, if you don't have little popsicle sticks or craft sticks available, a 16-penny nail works extremely well for this. This one was $8.59. You can check these every few minutes. these will be faster than what you would have a problem with, particularly this coming winter, because it's still a fairly warm day today. Now to recap on this, all we're doing now is checking the reactivity of the resin. We've got approximately 50 cc's or 50 milliliters, approximately a fourth of a capful of catalyst. Mix it in and start the timer, and same thing here. You'll notice a little difference in color of the two, that the accelerated system will always get a little darker color once you've added the catalyst to it. Normally you would run this and decide it was fast enough or need to be speeded up, and then you could do what I did with this one to speed it up. You can see an appreciable difference. Now, if we get this too fast, you can take a 5-gallon pail that's not accelerated and dilute it whatever is appropriate, or next time possibly put just 1 capful in a 5-gallon pail. On a real cold night, you may very well go as many as 3 caps full, but expect to have to dilute that on a warmer day. But you can see this one now, how quickly it's gelled, and you saw what I did. I put 2 caps full into the 5-gallon pail, and the stuff that I took out before I accelerated, you can see it's still low viscosity, and you still got workability, but you have no ability to return traffic. This one, once it gels to this point, generally, particularly for a pothole repair, you can put traffic back on it without any damage to the repair. If it's out on the end of a span on a bridge, a wide place at a joint, you need to give it all the time you reasonably can, but that's even more reason to be able to adjust the reactivity. You can see the resin that was not speeded up, it's still fairly low viscosity, and but it'll gel here in a few minutes, and we'll compare the time. As I said, normally you would run this, determine it was a little slower than you'd like, determine how much accelerator. This is enough to do, like I said, probably 6 to 8 drums of product, not 5-gallon pails, but 55-gallon drums of product. So a capful or 2 in a 5-gallon pail is a gracious plenty. Turns out the unaccelerated Resurf resin gelled in 29 minutes. After adding the accelerator, it gelled in 10 minutes. The complete directions are on the bottle of the accelerator and posted on our website. To recap the testing of reactivity and adjustment of reactivity, if need be, with Resurf accelerator. One thing I failed to mention, these cups need to be paper cups, definitely not styrofoam cups. They need to be dry. The other thing is, once you've adjusted reactivity on it or accelerated the product, you can do this minutes or months before you actually need to use the product. But go ahead and mark it on the lid so you'll know when you speeded some up, and probably on the side label also, just in case the lid gets moved or swapped around, which is quite often the case. But this gives you a good feel for checking and adjusting the reactivity well before you take it to the field, so you'll know what work time and return to traffic time that you have. Thank you very much.